تفكير خارج الصندوق. طيب عندي شيء داخل الصندوق سوف أخرجه لكم، يعني كرة بسيطة سنخرجها خارج الصندوق. طيب السؤال لما نخرج من خارج الصندوق إلى أين نذهب؟ Thank you. إلى صندوق آخر لعله يكون أكبر، فنحن أخرجنا الكرة من الصندوق الصغير إلى الصندوق الأكبر. طيب نترك هذه الكرة. ما هو التفكير الإبداعي؟ لا تقولوا لي هو الخروج من الصندوق. سنتحدث عن مشكلة الخروج من الصندوق بعد ذلك.
نظر الأشياء العادية يعني بطريقة
ممتاز. النظر إلى الأشياء العادية بطريقة مختلفة جديدة. ممتاز، أحسنت. أنت كنت طالبي صح؟ درست عندي صح؟ ما شاء الله. هل هناك محاولات أخرى؟ بالنسبة لي التفكير الإبداعي هو القدرة على إيجاد علاقة جديدة بين شيئين usually they're not related، لكن أنت بإبداعك وبتفكيرك ترى وتجد and you can identify this new relationship between two things. Okay? Let me give you an example. I have another thing here in the box. This thing. What is this? Let me try to wear it. Have you ever used this? What is this? This is baseball mitt. Yeah? There is a creative guy who looked at this and he created something very, very useful. And this is to do with this. Yeah? What is this? No. This is your brain. So the guy looked at the ball as if this is what? Your head. Okay? And this is why we get to Honda airbags. They created a new type of airbags based on this relationship between sports and mechanics. Somebody looked at it and he said, the usual airbag only protects you from the front, but this one can hold all the heads so that you do not move sideways. So he created that. So today the new Honda airbag generations are based on this idea, and they protect the whole head from all sides. So this is a creative way of, or a way of looking at things by finding a new relationship. Now, let's go back to, we're going to go back to the book. There's something, another thing inside here. طيب قلنا التعريف، من يذكرني بتعريف التفكير الإبداعي؟ هو القدرة
على الجمع بين شيئين ليس بينهما علاقة.
ما شاء الله، ممتاز. Okay? This is one definition and this is my preferred definition. هذا هو التعريف المفضل لي. القدرة على إيجاد هذه العلاقة بين شيئين لا علاقة له بينهما من قبل. هذه العلاقة كي تكون علاقة إبداعية لابد تتوفر فيها شروط. وما هي؟ الجيمات الثلاث. جيم وجيم وجيم. طبعا الجيم الأول سهل. ما هو؟ قلنا أن يكون جديدا. Thank you. لازم تكون علاقة، يعني أنت الأول الذي وجدت ورأيت هذه العلاقة فهي جديدة، صح؟ ثانيا الجيم الثاني جميلة. Okay, why not? If it's beautiful, there's something called beauty here.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't mean anything. Yeah. No, but yeah, it might have, it has to have jamaliya, if you like, but that's not what we're looking for. Jadid. Jayyid. We'll explain why. And jadwa. Dhu jadwa. Useful. Beneficial. Yeah? we do not create something just for the sake of creating it. Yeah? It has to have a use. لابد أن تكون لها ماذا؟ جدوى. نرجع للكلمة الوسطى التي هي جيد. ما معنى جيد؟ قلنا جيد جديد جيد وذو جدوى. جيد ما معناها؟ High quality. Yes. We can look at الجودة. Yeah. Okay. أيضا كلمة جيد تقصد أن يكون هذا المنتج أو هذا
With good intention.
Good intention. Very good. It has to be useful. Is this one جدوى? Yeah. له جدوى. جديد, and it has to be ethical. It has to be acceptable. It has to be lawful. It doesn't have to be harmful. لا ننتج شيء يؤذي الآخرين. Okay? But that's the idea of الجيمات الثلاث. Let me move on. The PowerPoint is almost empty, yeah? So don't rely too much on it. السؤال الأهم ليس ما هو الإبداع وكذا، كيف أصبح أكثر إبداعا؟ ومن خلال هذا السؤال نعرف أنني أنا وأنت وكلنا مبدعون، شئنا أم أبينا. هذا خلق الله. لكن بعضنا أكثر إبداعا, are more creative than others. The question is how? How can I be more creative? وهنا بيت القصيد. This is why we're here today. We want to be, better creative thinkers. بعض الخصائص والميزات ذكرها الدكتور سعود، لكن نمر عليها. هو ذكر كلمة شبيهة بهذه الكلمة، the daring أو الجرأة. ما هي كلمة ذكرها؟ المغامرة والمخاطرة. Exactly. To be a creative or a better creative person, you have to develop your daring. الجرأة. الجرأة في ماذا؟ حتى في التفكير. هل لديك الجرأة أن تأخذ ذهنك وتضعه في مكان جديد غير معتاد or not? Do you have this or not? So you need to develop this. And you ask yourself, do I have the daring or not? I want you all. خذ ذهنك الآن وحاول تضعه في مجال لم تفكر فيه من قبل. Anything. Which means going outside the box. Okay? The box, what is the box? مين يقول لي ما معنى كلمة box؟ ماذا نقصد بالbox؟ حد التفكير. ممتاز. يعني التفكير العادي الذي نحن معتادون فيه حسب نشأتنا وحسب تعلمنا وحسب العائلة التي أخذنا منها معلومات أشياء كثيرة. But this is the box, right? The traditional way, the conventional way, right? لكن we need the daring to sometimes go outside these conventions, these traditions, and go to new places, new spaces. Okay? So that's the first thing you need to have. Another skill you can develop to be a better thinker is what we call analogizing. What is analogizing? Anybody? Or as you said, or biomimicry. You look at what is around you in nature. محاكاة الطبيعة. This nature is created by the creator, right? And you look at it, you study it, you explore it, you ponder about it, and you come up with, you may find new relationships because of biomimicry. analogizing, and this is an advice to you, يعني نصيحة لكم، حاول أن يصبح هذا نمط جديد في تفكيرك. أنا أشجع هذا مع طلابي. نحن ندرس عندنا مادة الآي تهمل هي communication skills. يعني لما تقدم شيء كتابة أو كلاما لابد أن يعني you have to inject certain skills in your communication. منها analogizing. فلما الطالب يكتب شيء أبحث هل ذكر analogy هنا أو هنا، فإن وجدتها فأمدحه ويأخذ عليها درجة. ما معنى كلمة analogy؟ أن تشبه الشيء بشيء آخر. هذه analogy. أن تشبه شيئا معتاد بشيء غير معتاد أو العكس لتسهيل عملية الفهم. أوكي؟ أعطيكم مثال بسيط. أردت أن أميز بين مستويات التفكير الثلاث: التفكير البسيط، والتفكير الناقد، والتفكير الابداعي. أنا عادة لا أريد أن أعطي الناس شيئا ولا أبذل جهد فيه ذاتي. Okay? I always want to walk the talk, right? To teach what I preach. فحاولت جلست مع نفسي قلت كيف يمكنني أن أنتج analogy أو تشبيه يفرق بين المستويات الثلاث في التفكير. فأخذت قلت مثلا the family analogy. The family analogy. العائلة، نعرف العائلة صح؟ الثلاث أشخاص الأساسيين في العائلة هم الطفل أو البيبي، الأم والأب. لنأخذ مستويات التفكير الثلاث. بالنسبة لي for analogy أخذت البيبي وقلت هذا تفكيره بسيط. فهذا يمثل عندي تفكير بسيط. لماذا؟ لأنه احتياجاته بسيطة. فقط يريد he needs to be fed, he needs to be taken care of, to stay dry and safe and everything. And also the communication, the language for the baby is very, very basic. Huh? What do? Babies, what do? They cry, or sometimes they giggle, they smile, yeah? They don't always cry. This is the simple communication they have. So for me, a baby represents basic, simple thinking. Now we go to the big problem. Who's going to take the creative thinking? Who's going to take the critical thinking? The mom or the dad? Yeah. Critical thinking, التفكير الناقد. For my analogy, I gave critical thinking to the mom. Please don't get angry if, yeah? I said the mom has more critical thinking. Why? لأنه هناك خصائص للتفكير الناقد. Yeah? أن يكون الإنسان يدقق في الشيء، يسأل كثيرا، ينظر للشيء من جوانب كثيرة. والأمهات والزوجات عادة they are very good at this. They know what questions to ask. وأهم شيء they know when to ask. Yeah? And this happens to me. Sometimes when I'm not ready for anything, boom, the question comes. And I'm not ready, I'm defenseless. See? So mothers are like that. For me, for the sake of analogy, they take the critical thinking part. Let's go to creative thinking. Of course, I'm not saying that ladies are not, but just for the sake of it. Creative thinking is given to the dad. Why? Let's go to going outside the box. Who goes outside the box most often? يطلع من العنبة، من البيت ويسافر ويروح things. Who does this? The man. In this culture, at least the man. To be a creative thinker, creative thinker, we'll see later, you have to be playful. تحب اللعب والthings. ذكرنا قبلها ما هي الصفة الأولى؟ الجرأة, right? Who has more daring? The dad or the mom? Honestly, the dad. Who can take the baby and plays with the baby like this, and then he holds the baby? The mom or the dad? The dad. And the mom said, please, he's going to fall, etc. So So this analogy gives me the distinction between the three levels of thinking: basic, critical, and creative. Okay? And there is another analogy, which is the water analogy. I don't have time to go through it, but I can give it to you later. Anyhow, so analogizing in your speech, in your thinking, in your communication, in your writing is good. أذكر في الثانوي طلب منا الأستاذ أن نكتب يعني essay عن العلاقة بين المدرسة والمصنع. هذه حقيقة. فوقتها لا أدري، قلت أحاول أن أكون نوعا ما خارج المعتاد. I use an analogy. قلت المصنع هو العصا والمدرسة هي الشيخ. وقلت الشيخ لا يستطيع أن يمشي بدون العصا، الشيخ الكبير، والعصا لا قيمة لها إذا لم يستخدمها الشيخ. أذكر أستاذي كتب لي عبارة لا أنساها في حياتي. لا يعني أحيانا الكريتيكال ثينكينج هذه، احنا نتكلم اليوم على كريتيف ثينكينج. كريتيكال ثينكينج از بوزيتيف ثينكينج. كيف نزرع في أنفسنا وفي من معنا التفكير الإيجابي والتحفيز. فكتب لي عبارة قال بثلاث كلمات: لك مستقبل أدبي. لن أنساها. He gave me the confidence. If my teacher is saying this about me, then I can do it. And he stayed with me. Right? Okay? So that's analogizing. Let's move on. التفكير الإبداعي ليس بالأمر الهين والسهل. لا يمكننا هكذا يعني في without making the effort become creative thinkers. يحتاج إلى جهد، يحتاج إلى عمل، يحتاج إلى knowledge، إلى تعمق. Okay? هل من الممكن أن أجلس في مكاني ويأتيني الإلهام هكذا بدون سابق علم وأصبح مبدع مثل ما ذكر الدكتور وأبتكر No. Creative thinking needs a lot of knowledge. And where do you get your knowledge from? من أين يأتينا هذا العلم؟ القراءة. سر العلم القراءة. وأنا عندي نوعا ما يعني مبدأ قد لا يوافق عليه البعض. لدينا مشكلة في القراءة، سببها نحن لا نقرأ كثيرا. سببها لغتنا ضعيفة، فلهذا تؤثر على قراءتنا. ولماذا لغتنا ضعيفة؟ بالنسبة لي لأننا نشأنا من الصغر بدون لغة. نشأنا بماذا؟ بعامية، ما هي الأسماء الأخرى؟ عامية أو ماذا؟ لهجة مصرية، لهجة تونسية، لهجة جزائرية، I'm from Algeria, right? وهكذا. لكن ليست هي التي تجدها في الكتاب لما تذهب تدرس في الكتاب. فهذه صعبت علينا نوعا ما أن تكون لنا قوة في اللغة، وهذه صعبت علينا القراءة. This is something. But you need knowledge base through reading. Again, through what? من أين يأتي knowledge? Listening. Very good. Watching. Yes, of course, but we watch a lot these days. We don't read a lot. Okay? So you need knowledge base. فكل واحد في تخصصه لابد أن يتعمق كي يحصل على knowledge base التي يقف عليها كي تساعدك يصبح مفكر مبدع. It doesn't come like that. It's not an easy business. Okay, the other thing is communication. To be a creative person, you need to have a good communication. Whatever. We teach communication, and again, your name please? Mondher. Yeah? Mondher was with us in the course. And we asked the students, where can you be creative in communication? How? And we tell them, in addition to analogizing, ذكرناها من قبل, يمكننا أيضا أن نكون مبدعين how to grab the audience من البداية. لما تقدم شيء من البداية كيف تجعل الأودينس معك. ونذكر أمثلة. محمد القحطاني ما شاء الله مثال حي المفروض أن يدرس his presentation تدرس. ولدينا الطرق. وأيضا grab the audience from the beginning to the end. لما يكون هناك علاقة بين البداية والنهاية فهذه تعتبر good communication skills. So you need to think of your communication skills if you want to be a creative person, and also you can sell your idea. You can pass your idea to the other if you have communication skills. Humor and playfulness. You have to be like a child. You like to play. You like to laugh. You like to make people around you happy. That's also a sign of a creative person. Don't be dry. Yeah? Okay? Even in communication, you have to inject some humor. And we give the example of a child, because children, they're difficult. They ask all types of questions. There is a child who went to her mom, and she asked, "Mom, where do we come from?" Yeah? Very innocent question, right? The mom said, "Well, honey, we come from God, from Adam and Eve, and they had children, and then the children had children, and on until we came." The child went to her dad. She asked the same question. "Dad, where do we come from?" But this is not here yet. This is from. He said, "Well, many years ago there were monkeys and apes, and they developed, and they evolved, and they became more intelligent, and had children. They were even more intelligent, slowly, until we came." The child went back to her mom and said, "Mom, I'm confused. What is this? Is this God and Adam and Eve, or is it the monkeys and the apes?" And she said, "Honey, he's talking about his family." Right? So, I'm using this to make you laugh, because laughter and being a humorist is part of being creative. Yeah? So try to have this in your life. Be a happy person, because that's positive. Yeah? Be playful. Try to coin or to improvise jokes sometimes. Why not? That's also part of being creative. There's another joke, but I don't want to tell you the other joke. Anyhow. Improvisation. Al-irtijal. Can you do that? Or you have to go by the book. You have to read and so on. No. You have to develop the courage and the daring to improvise and tartajil. And one of the activities you could do and you could join is what we call Toastmasters. They have wonderful activities for you to develop your communication and your improvisation skills. That's also part. Do you know what Toastmasters is? Yeah, I had a student, Omar Hafid. He took me there twice to see what they do. It's quite an interesting thing to go to. Okay, very quickly. Collective creativity. As I said, if you don't have the knowledge base, what do? You work with others. Yeah? I cannot have all the knowledge. What I do, he's an expert in something. He's in technology. We work together, and we can come up with something creative. That's what we call collective creativity. There is a story behind it. There's no time to. Okay. Another principle for creative thinking is to be systematic. To study how to become creative. And one of the things you can study is trees, all right? And this is a theory developed by a Russian, and it has 30 principles. You need to study them to become creative. I'll give you just 2 or 3. One of the problems, if for example, is what they call segmentation. If something is too difficult to deal with, you take it into parts. Yeah. There's another one, nesting. Now you can put something like the chairs. You know the chairs? The smaller one, then the middle one, then the bigger one, so that you gain space. And there's what we call also local quality. You have something, but you add another feature to it. And I have in the box an example. You see this? This is a cap. What does it do? Gives you shade, right? But then what they added? A fan. So that you get. So this is called local quality. It means you can think of what you have and make it do something extra, so that you make better use of it. Okay? This is, and there are 30 principles which you need to study. If you know them, that develops your creative thinking. There are things we need to study to build systems. Then if you have all of this creative thinking and so on, you can move to what Dr. Sorg was talking about. Going to the entrepreneurship field and develop your entrepreneurial mindset. Okay? Well, there are 15 competencies. I don't have time to go through. I would like to go through them to show you what competencies you need to develop your entrepreneurship. Okay. Now, the last thing is, what is this? Your head, yeah? We said we took the head out of, or your brain out of the box. Yeah? My advice to you is, make sure you go back to the box. Otherwise, what's going to happen? You're going to go crazy. Usually, you're allowed to go outside the box for a fraction of seconds, but then make sure you go back to the box to keep your sanity and you don't go crazy. Thank you very much.